How's it going? This is Link, and you're listening to Lynk-On Media Podcast.
Black creatives have a really complex way of making certain things. A prime example is we could either make it really relatable or we could go really out of the realm. It just really depends on like what story we want to tell. I think that a story like we haven't had um a black detective that wasn't related in the hood. I don't think we've ever had like black vampires or anything like that that wasn't related to slavery. I think that I'm not saying we don't ignore the actual issues of what our culture goes through. I think that it doesn't need to be highlighted in
In
everything,
everything.
because let's put facts to paper here. If black people, like as a collective, we all put our issues aside and we all collectively got united, we would run the fucking world. You can't convince me otherwise. We have the power to do that. So for black creatives, we have too much potential. And I'm not getting political with this. I'm just being straight up. Like we have too much potential to say, no, I don't think we can do it. I don't think we can do this. No, are you out of your goddamn mind? Like
Right.
we own music, we own sports, we own like the only thing we're missing is if we own the stock market, we're fucking fine. We're golden. So for people like, I would love somebody to come up to me and tell me there's a black studio. I know Tyler Perry has it. I don't count that because that's different. I want to hear about a black studio that made their own universe. I don't care if it's superhero. I don't care if it's romance. I don't care. I want something that is black owned without having so much political agendas attached to it.
Well, I mean, Tyler Perry is pretty much that. Why discount him?
Because Tyler Perry, like he has a certain not stigma, that's not the word I'm looking for. I'll just say he has a certain way of making his movies that involves he brings the negativity of black social issues more than he brings the light side of it.
Oh, I see what
Like,
you're saying. I see what
yes,
you're saying.
like okay, biggest example I can think of, The Boondocks. It's a comedy, it's a cartoon. But here's the thing, there's struggle in it, but there's enjoyment within that whole show. Yes, there is some dark moments. Yes, there is some topics that we should not ever discuss again, but there is enjoyment in it. I would love to see something like, okay, this is a white show, whatever. This is the only thing I can think of. The most recent show I watched was called The Originals. It was about a family of vampires. I thought to myself, this would have been so amazing if this was based in New Orleans and they had blacks, but they had it as a family diversity. The reason why I say that is because if you have a black family and you capture everything that they do, it is astounding as to what they can discover. All Go ahead.
So your pitch, this is your pitch. Your pitch is a vampire family who lives in New Orleans, what, of today or
I don't care. Like I didn't go that far, but like I don't care which era.
that's you better copyright that real quick because that sounds pretty good. I would watch that.
I
New
would
Orleans.
I would just love to see something like that. And you know what's crazy? Me and Link, we actually talked about the concept of superheroes, and the most common power is lightning for most superheroes within like the superhero universe. The most
There's a
common,
lot of lightning. There's a lot of
yeah,
lightning.
there's a lot of
Well,
lightning, and
lightning,
yeah,
speed,
super
strength,
strength,
and flight.
yes. I think the best example we discussed on one-on-one basis was if they made like I think we talked about, it wasn't Power Rangers, but it was something around that realm where they had a team of black people and they discovered powers and they made it into their own, and they went off and did something, but they made it in a way where it wasn't politically driven. It was just
Right.
simply, they are superheroes, but they just happen to be black, but everything else is just like, it has nothing to do with black issues and nothing like that. We
Yep.
thought at the time, this is before everything got stupid. We thought at the time this would capitalize on a lot of people's identity because it would make black girls and black boys feel represented without forcing it down people's throats. It was just a simple idea to say, this happens too, and you don't have to feel guilty about having this attached to your skin. That was the idea we had. Hopefully, me, you, somebody comes around and says, fuck the political shit. I just want a black Sherlock Holmes. I want a black vampire thing. I want a black secret agent society. I don't give a fuck, but just don't shove everything down our throats. Again, people, I'm going to reiterate this again. The issues are there. They are present. Do they need to be shoved down all the time? No. It's talked about when it needs to be talked about. Sometimes just give us a character that we can fucking like without feeling like we have to be represented. Just give us that.
Yeah, I think Blade was definitely a character that we all liked.
Yes.
That was wasn't really the most socially conscious thing, but it was a black guy who kicked ass in a black coat.
Yes.
And we didn't care if back in the day. I don't think we cared about issues when we went to see a superhero film, or like when Deep Space Nine was coming out, the Star Trek show. It had a black lead,
right,
who was just as important as Captain Picard or Captain Kirk. He was one of my favorite characters, and there wasn't a thing about, oh, look, we have a black character now. We have a black lead now. Like,
yes,
there wasn't any of that. It was just, here's another Star Trek show. The writing is going to be just as good, hopefully even better. Here you go.
Yes.
And that's probably my second favorite Star Trek show. So when it, in terms of other characters like that, I think Morgan Freeman back in the day had a character called Alex Cross. He was in Kiss the Girls and Catch a Spider. I believe it was based on books, but he is basically a black detective who is just as good as any detective character from any book or anything like that. They messed it up when they brought in what's his name, Tyler Perry, for that.
Yep.
Tyler Perry does have a stigma to him.
Yes.
I like him. I like Tyler Perry, but man, there's a chintziness to Tyler Perry that, for $1 billion guy like that, you'd think he'd buy better wigs for his actors and stuff like that, or get a writer, or light his stuff better, or something. But we got Jordan Peele. He came out with Nope, which you haven't seen yet, right?
No.
So I would say, check it out. I don't think it's as good as Get Out. I don't think it's that good, but I think it was a good example of a multiracial cast, mostly black.
Mm-hmm.
The two black leads, Kiki Palmer and David Kaluuya.
Mm-hmm.
Did I butcher that name too?
You did not.
Kaluuya. They're really good in it, and I want to see Jordan Peele do a lot more stuff. I don't think he's the best writer in the world, but I like the vibe that he gives. That's what I would love to see more of that. And there's no like BLM stuff. There's no, it's just good characters. The situation is very cinematic. And that's a good example right there.
I think because I know the concept of Nope, and I'm not going to spoil it for people who haven't seen it, but it just shows you. I'm just going to say this, and you're going to know what I'm talking about. Don't fuck with this certain group, because if you keep doing that, some shit's going to happen to you. Just don't fuck with this certain group.
Wait, what certain group?
Animals. You can cut that out.
Oh, okay. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Because of the pole play.
Yeah. You just cut that out. But yes, I would. Jordan Peele has the biggest potential of any director I've seen or heard of since like probably Steven Spielberg. Like, I'm not comparing him. People, shut up. I'm not comparing him to Steven Spielberg. I'm just saying the potential is there.
like early Steven Spielberg, like
Yes.
Close Encounters, Duel, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
There's like a Stephen King-ish, M. Night Shyamalan kind of
that's a better
feel to him.
comparison. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
better
I think
comparison.
M. Night Shyamalan would be a better
Yeah.
comparison, but I like that. And I really do like M. Night Shyamalan. It's just that he kind of veered off into self-parody, you know.
I think
But
Cujo is probably the one movie out of Steven Spielberg where I actually became afraid of something when I was a kid.
the
Like,
Steven Spielberg did that? I don't think
no, I'm sorry, not Steven
that's
Spielberg.
Stephen King.
Stephen King. I'm sorry. Yeah,
That's
Stephen
Stephen
King.
King.
Yeah, Stephen King. I'm sorry. Yeah, when Stephen King, like when he oh my god. That actually made me afraid of dogs for years. Like
Oh yeah.
that movie was so good. And I found out like the book was not that different, but they changed the ending. I was like, okay, thank God they changed the ending because that would have been fucking depressing. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah, that
Um,
was it's interesting how what he can take and make it into like a horrific sort of figure. Like I think The Mist, that was pretty
yeah.
interesting, where there's certain things in The Mist, but it wasn't really about the creatures. It was about mankind and how fear allows people to
Yeah.
just be their worst selves. And
Yep.
yeah, Stephen King's a fucking crazy man.
Oh, speaking of horror, did you see Prey?
Yes, that is actually on the docket. That is on my list of things that I wanted to talk about. I did
Oh,
see Prey and I liked it. I
I
think
loved it.
it's out of all the Predator movies that came
Hmm.
out, it is definitely one of them.
Yes. I believe it's right under the first Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely better than the Alien versus Predator ones. It's better than the Predator.
Yep.
I think it's on the same realm as Predators. You ever the
Yes.
Robert Rodriguez one with
Yeah.
Adrian Brody for some reason?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
Um,
it's in that realm.
I did not know that this when I heard Disney was gonna like I heard it from Disney, not from Hulu for people who watch on Hulu, but I watched the trailer for it just scrolling through Disney Plus one night and I saw Prey and I thought, this looks different. And I saw it was a Predator movie and I went, this looks really, really good. And I watched it. I was not surprisingly I wasn't surprisingly like shocked that it was good. I was like I was happy that it was that good because Predator movies was made before my time, before I was born, but I still watched it with my dad growing up.
Right.
And I remember watching Arnold Schwarzenegger's like The Predator, and it was one of the most over dramatic uh, thriller movies I've seen in a long, long time. And me and my dad watched the other Predators, and my dad just shat on them the entire time we were watching them. And and it was funny listening to my dad cuss while I was like 10 years old, just like looking at the Predator movies, like this is garbage. But when I saw Prey, I was in love with it. Like obviously there were problems, but it didn't overshadow the fact that it was a good fucking thriller movie.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I got you. It's definitely a really good Saturday night kind of feature.
Yeah.
You got your family, you got your girl, and then Predator like just rips through all these Comanche people,
Comanche
which
warriors and the
yeah,
French colonizers.
yeah, boy, the French colonizers, man. They were fur hunters, I think. They were fur trappers,
They were
I
fur
believe is the
trappers,
term.
yeah. Like they
Yeah.
okay, I think that what got me intrigued the most, like I didn't know anything about the First Nations regarding that certain tribe. So I
Yeah.
was I was intrigued of like how they represent it. I believe they're making a second version where it's just in the Comanche language. Like it's
Yeah.
not dubbed, it's not like they're speaking the actual Comanche language, which
Are they
yeah,
is
like
it
they made two versions from what I saw in reviews and from interviews. They made
okay?
two versions. One was in English and one was in the Comanche one, which I'm very shocked that they did that and it's not dubbed. Like they're making it like that. And I want to see it because I actually want to hear what they're saying because from watching native tribes speak English to me threw me off a little bit, but I
That
wasn't
was
too
it was I think it's that part just took me out. It's kind of
really.
like when aliens speak English in movies. It's bad comparison. But but if we're talking, this is like 300 years ago,
Yes,
and this nation, they I just think it would be more authentic if I didn't hear them speaking today's English. Like
right.
there were just certain words and certain phrases that how they said it, it just sounded too modern, and that
Yeah,
kills it for me.
I can see
Because
that.
the French, the French fur trappers, they weren't dubbed at all. They were
French.
French,
Yeah, they
and
were like,
that's what they should sound like.
yeah, they were dirty slang speaking French. Like that's how like the French like talked. And uh as far as like, okay, I made a rant about this on my Instagram, and I saw this YouTuber who made a review about the Predator trailer.
Right.
The first thing out of this man's mouth, he said they're making another woke movie about a female lead. And he went on and on and on and on about how a female lead with representation of a native tribe does not make any fucking sense in the Predator movie. Again, I ignored it and I watched it, and that video aged like spoiled milk because everything about what he said was going to happen was wrong as hell.
Right. Did he say that the girl was going to be a Mary Sue, and he
Yes,
was going to
he made the comparison saying that if this woman has this is his words and I'm paraphrasing it. He said this quote, this woman is going to be the Mary Sue because all of the men are going to be killed. She's going to be the only one left, and somehow in some way she's going to outmuscle the Predator, and she's going to kill him with her throwing axe and her wit to keep fighting. And because I'm a female, no one can believe in me, so I'm going to beat this Predator and prove it to all the men. And in my head I'm thinking, oh my God, can you say you're a virgin without saying you're a virgin? Like, this is ridiculous at this point.
well, how I see it, like going into it, I was sort of on that kind of point of view of, well, they're just gonna I feel like they're gonna Force Awakens it. They're gonna try to build up this female character. She's gonna be unstoppable, that sort of thing. That's what it's what my fears were.
Right.
Because I mean, Predator, that's a dad movie. It's one of those movies you watch with your dad, and they're taking all these dad franchises and making it for girls, which is it's weird. I mean, are you going to take Roadhouse and make it for girl? I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But I was pleasantly sort of surprised by it. But I'm wondering, is it because my anticipation or my expectations were so low?
Right.
Because there are certain issues I have with it, the English speaking, the some of the characterizations,
Mm-hmm.
that sort of thing. But just as a concept, I think this fits in with what Predator is. I mean, at
Yes.
the end of Predator 2, you do see a lot of nods to the history of the Predator. Like the Predators have been here before. They
Yes.
have been hunting people. It's a thing.
Yes.
So the fact that this is a story that's been told, sure,
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense. Building up I know some people are going to have issues with the woman thing. I didn't, because it
Same.
just showed, like, it's through her determination that she was able to get better. She
Yes.
didn't start off like Ray, who's good at everything,
Yeah.
and then at the end of the trilogy she's good at everything. It's not like a line
Yeah.
of, there is actually an arc. She does have
Yes.
to improve, and she's able to pick up on things, see
Yes.
how the predator works, and see how he hunts and everything like that. And she's
Hmm.
able to use certain things that the predator does against him, against the predator. So yeah, it kind of works in its own way. I dug it.
I think
Um,
her character development was smooth. Like I didn't feel like they were forcing anything. I didn't feel like she went through unnecessary script. Like she didn't say enough anything unnecessary that forces an agenda or anything. Like she just generally like the where she said like why you want to hunt. She said because I want to prove that I can, and it's not because like oh I think that women should hunt. She just literally
right,
said because I want to hunt. That I could do other things as women do, but I took it as she wants a new challenge. Like she knows how to heal people. She knows how to look for medicines. She just wanted to learn how to hunt because she wanted to be beside her brother, which
right.
makes sense. I wouldn't say that it was a bad thing to make her the main character. Like I think it made a lot more sense that this character was the one to kill the predator because she was more adventurous. She was more into taking risks and being involved in the wilderness versus like her brothers and the other tribesmen. They were just more focused on find the kill, find the hunt, and that's it because they were straight and narrow, which is their responsibility.
And I think also because it's interesting that it's a woman, like this particular woman, because she's not as strong as her male tribe members.
Mm-hmm.
So she has to now think differently. She has to uh, 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 basically see the hunting ground in a different way, uh, instead of them. She can't use her brute strength.
Mm-hmm.
She can't. There's certain things she won't be able to do, so she has to be better in certain other cases. She has to outwit the predator,
Yes.
basically, and
Yeah.
that's kind of what happens. And yeah, I think how it was done, and it's all execution. It's all execution. This
Mm-hmm.
director, he did 10 Cloverfield Lane, and he did some episodes of The Boys. I think it was beautifully shot, beautifully directed,
Yep.
well put together set pieces. I think it has some of the best predator kills in this movie.
Hands down.
Just in terms of how it's shot, how it's done. It's not like gratuitous. It's not like, oh, look at all the blood.
Yeah.
It's just shot very, it's visceral, but it never like grosses you out. You know what I mean?
It makes him look threatening without him making him look like probably making him look like Jason. Like
Right.
there's a balance that they did, and I think for this predator they made him look ruthless without making him look um over the top. Like
Right.
in previous predator adaptations, they either did one or two things. They made the predator too bloodthirsty, or they made him too stupid. Like there are times where they keep a predator could have gone for an easy kill, but he just didn't see him, or he just like he had a second thought or some shit like that. With this predator, it was like, no, if I see you, I'm gonna fucking kill you, and I'm not gonna hold back on it. Like if I see you, you're dead.
And I think it was back to basics because of how the predator hunts specifically. Like he doesn't harm children. He doesn't go after like women or pregnant women or anything like that. He
Yeah.
would go for a man with a weapon,
Yes.
someone who he sees as a threat. And
Yes.
that's kind of how she wins, actually, which is the whole point. Like, you don't see me as a threat. That's why I'm going to fucking kill you, because
Yeah.
you don't even see me coming. And I thought that was a pretty good message. I thought it was pretty cool how they did it. It was back to basics because I think the other Predator movies made the Predator into just a movie monster.
Yeah.
Like there's certain characteristics that the Predator has that is completely thrown out of the window. Same thing with Alien. Alien is
Mhm.
is sort of the same problem where it's not a creature who's trying to survive and
Mhm.
needs your body to, to
Mhm.
reproduce. It's just it's Freddy and Jason, and they just want to kill you because
Because you're
that's
there.
what it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you're there. They're not,
Yeah.
So what I that's what I liked about this. It's not they don't joke around with it. They don't add extra lore that we don't need.
Hmm.
It's a predator. It's a situation where the predator does things and that's it. And they keep it simple, which that's what I like. I like
Yeah.
simplicity, you
I
know?
think me and my boy, we talked about Predator together, and he brought up a good point where he said there if they did I think like a trilogy of the Predator, not the same Predator, but a Predator coming to Earth at different periods of time, it would be fucking amazing. Like we had this one where it was based in the early BC, and sorry, like in the early years where it was the native tribe. Now imagine if they did this around the Samurai age, where the Predator just came and looked for that like, and then there would be one
That would
where
be cool.
and then there'll be one where they came in through medieval times and like just different predators throughout different periods of time, and they figure out different environments. Maybe the predator wins in certain ones, maybe the predator dies, or the predator lives in the certain, like, you don't know, but like going throughout different periods of time of a predator invading Earth, just simple as that would be, i would be I would be excited to see something like that.
That would definitely be interesting. It's definitely more interesting than what they have done with the Predators. And I think that's because the first Predator, I mean, I don't know how much they spent on that, but they didn't. It's not a big blockbuster,
No.
and that's what's the problem with a lot of these franchises when you reach Predator 5
Mm-hmm.
or Alien 5 or whatever, you have to always go big, and you have to go big. And that is sort of my
Mm-hmm.
problem. It's definitely my problem with the superhero genre because everything has to be this big CGI blowout and the characters get completely lost in it.
Yep.
And that's why this is, and I think too, because of that, my expectations is just rock bottom and then below that. And then when you're just like, oh, it's a little girl who wants to fight a predator, and she wants to be like one of the, you know,
Yeah.
it's nice. It's a nice little story. Fine.
Yeah.
It doesn't kill the Predator franchise. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't.
Yeah.
When you have something, uh, when franchises are, oh, what do we do? I don't know. Let's bring back Palpatine. When you see certain thoughts like that, you're just like, just stop. Just we
Yeah.
don't want to see more of this. You're
Yeah.
killing. But then someone comes along and then does a small little picture with just one predator, just no guns.
Yeah.
Guns don't even exist.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no, there was one, the French gun, and I would like to bring that up. That
Yeah.
is
Go ahead.
the gun from Predator 2,
Oh
the pistol
yeah.
from Predator
I
2.
forgot about. Oh my god.
And I'm
I.
like,
Oh wow. That just brushed over my. Oh my god.
yeah,
I
yeah,
forgot about
it
that.
is. And the inscription, and I'm like,
Oh shit.
y'all try to
You.
bring that back.
Oh, they set that up. Oh, that's so
Yeah,
cool.
but
That's
the
cool.
but I was watching the Critical Drinker the other day, and he brought up a pretty good point.
Mhm.
How does the Predators get the pistol?
Yeah. I. Oh. Oh. Okay.
Thoughts?
Okay. So I think an alien invasion, because I think that maybe that's not what happened. I don't know. But like my only thought was like if the predators found out that somebody on Earth was able to kill one of their own, they would send more.
Yeah, they'll say this. They'll send a couple. They won't
Yeah.
like take over the Earth. That's
No,
not their
but
thing. But there would be some retribution. He'd be like, hey, if you kill one of us, that means there's a pretty good hunt here. So
yeah.
let's investigate.
Let's put facts here. If they had more than one predator come to Earth around the same tribe, that tribe is dead. I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck. That tribe is dead.
So the tribe is dead. I
The
mean,
tribe is dead.
essentially.
Like I like that. No, that woman is dead. Like you could make her strong for maybe one, but after if she there's more than one, it's done. Like she'll know how to kill one, but to kill three, absolutely fucking not. No way.
And a lot of the warriors of that tribe are already dead.
Yes.
So there isn't a lot of defenses that they have anymore. So that's it for them. So damn, was that how the colonizers took the land because they were just killed out by predators? Is that the implication here?
Do you think? Actually, here's a question. I think. Do you think that the Predator, like I'm sorry, Prey, would have been a better movie if it was a little bit longer?
Not really. I don't think the length was the issue. I just think it's the authenticity.
Okay.
Like I think it could have been more, a little bit more savage, a little bit like if it
Yeah.
looked like if it was like the Revenant.
Oh,
Yeah, if it
oh,
looked if it had that
okay.
if it had that
Yeah, I
that
see
that
what you
that
mean.
darkness, that
Yes, I see
deep.
what you like.
Yeah.
Okay, here's why I think it would have been better if it. Now, I'm not talking like 2 hours or anything. I'm talking about like maybe 10 minutes, 20 minutes longer. I think it would have been a lot more impactful if we saw the Predator find another village and just slaughtered all of them. And here's why I think that. I think it would have been a lot more impactful for the character and the Predator if the Predator found, as soon as he came down to Earth, he found a village and they were slaughtered. And one of the survivor from that village comes to um, the main character's village and finds out that their whole village was slaughtered. So they think it was the Frenchman. That sets up the how dangerous the Frenchman is and blah blah blah, and it
Right,
sets
right,
up
right.
how good the Predator is good at killing. I think it brings a more impactful way of making the female character not as powerful, but as more determined to survive. Now, would it be more impactful when if he killed her the same way? No, but I think if she finds a way through studying him and finding out the weaknesses and watching how he kills and why he kills, it would make her more smart.
Okay. I got you.
So that was my only thing. That's just like my director filming brain exploring. But overall, for what we got, I enjoyed watching this movie. I think it was great.
Yeah, I think so too. I thought it was pretty good. That is pretty good. I think in terms of all of these franchises that are all these male dominated franchises that are now for girls,
Mm-hmm.
this is the least obnoxious about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's definitely not Ghostbusters 2016. It's not The Last Jedi. It's
It's not
it's
Captain Marvel.
No, it's a pretty decent movie about a girl who just wants to be this particular thing, and then she does it. And I was along for the ride, and I'm glad it didn't suck. Like it
Yes.
just so that was good. I like that we spoke on the Predator now.
Yeah.
Because that was in my other topics of what are the other things besides superhero shit we can talk about.
Yeah.
All right. So anything else on DC? What are any other thoughts that you have on DC before we move on to Marvel stuff?
The last thing I want to bring up about DC is like I'm not excited for Black Adam.
Okay. Why?
I think that okay, this is gonna be a hot take. I don't think Dwayne is a good choice for Black Adam. I know he's the good size. I know like Dwayne is a good actor, but I just don't. I can't see him as Black Adam. Like like I read the comics. I've watched certain movies. I've like I don't know. I just can't see it. Like it's maybe I need to watch the movie to get into it, but like Black Adam, I'm just not
Yeah.
hyped for it. I don't
No, I
know.
agree with
It's
you. It's a choice, man. It's definitely a choice. I don't know if it's the worst choice yet. It's just something that I'm gonna have to see.
yeah. But as far as like the DC, like they're introducing the JLA in that Black Adam movie. I'm not upset, but I'm worried that they're going to do the same thing that they did with Spider-Man 3, where they crammed a whole bunch of different storylines and it just made it whole convoluted and it just like destroyed the whole organization of a movie.
Wait, Spider-Man 3 as in Sam Raimi's
So-
Spider-Man 3?
Yes, correct.
I was thinking they might do even worse. They might do a Doctor Strange 2, just bring a bunch of characters in just so you can kill them.
I forgot about that. Holy shit.
I think that might be one of the worst. Like, I'm still trying to figure out what is the worst Marvel movie I've ever seen. Is it Black Widow, Doctor Strange and In Your Mom, and Thor 4? Because I think those
Thor
movies are
4.
detestable.
Thor 4.
I really the CGI was bad in that, right? Like, it wasn't me. Like, it wasn't.
Everything about that was just bad. Like, I don't want to even go on a rant about it. Like, I was just so fucking disappointed. I was, you know what? Okay, here's the one thing I'll say. I love Thor as the character, but but when you make Thor into the dumbest son of a bitch to ever be on screen, that's when I check out. I'm like, okay, I just did not like it. I liked Mighty Thor. I liked Jane Foster, what she did with Thor with what she was given. She was powerful, she was effective, she was useful. It made sense. Her motivations made sense. The way she got it, questionable. How she adapted to it, the way she adapted to the powers was it made sense. Like it felt fine with me. I did not think like Valkyrie was effective in this movie. I think she was just there because she was there. I don't know. Like, I think Valkyrie could have been more effective. I just like, okay, imagine if they got rid of Valkyrie's lines, Valkyrie's input from the action scenes. They just kept her as king. Would the movie change at all?
No, not really.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
exactly. Just keep her as king, keep her as king on New Asgard, and just put Jane and Thor on the adventure, whatever fucking adventure that was. And
Can I ask you? Can I ask you a question though?
go
What
ahead.
was the point of going to Omnipotent City? Right?
Yeah.
What they basically went there for a reason, right? But did it go anywhere? What did they get out of that whole thing?
Zeus's lightning.
And does it do anything?
It was an extra weapon for the kids to become. Oh my god! It was an extra weapon for the kids to become Thor for 5 minutes. Okay, let me just say this right now. If Thor kills Zeus and there's a bunch of living gods surrounding him, Thor would be dead. Let me express that. Thor killed Zeus, the king of the gods, in his own city, and there was no repercussions other than Zeus coming back to life and having an orgy while talking to his son Hercules.
Well, nobody really stays dead in these movies. You know, he came back in the in the last
Oh
to
my
set up
fucking
Hercules.
God.
To set up Hercules
Oh,
at the end. But
Jesus
we will
Christ.
look. We're going to be here for the entire day just talking about how bad that movie is. We can't. You know,
Yeah.
it's truly like after seeing it, I thought, man, at least it's not as bad as Doctor Strange. But now I'm thinking, no, it's probably worse.
I did not mind. Okay, I didn't like Doctor Strange, but I did not mind it. I didn't think it was a bad movie. I think it had its great moments, but for the characters they just shoved in, fuck off. Fuck right off.
No, you see, now here's the thing. I don't like. I'm not a fan of the writer of Doctor Strange. I forgot his name, but he's the guy who did Loki.
Oh, that
Now,
makes sense.
my issue with that guy is that he shows a type of, you know, irreverence, a type of postmodernist sort of, I don't really care that much about your IP kind of deal. Like I care, but I don't really care. It's kind of like Ryan Johnson. It's Ryan Johnson where he beats at his own drum. He wants to do like these different things that people don't expect. And then when you think about, okay, how does it work in the story? It doesn't work that well. So why are you? I don't like him. I'm not a big fan of, and he's like the it writer of Marvel now. And I'm just, if he's doing the next Avengers, then count me out. Like I'm not,
worried. I'm worried now.
I'm kind of off that. Like you said the other day, we were talking about this. I remember I sent you a message. Why does Phase 4 suck so much? And you were like, well, look, Endgame was the end game. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And I kind of just feel that way about it. Like not a lot of the new stuff really comes out at me. Like I'm looking at the list of things now. So there's She-Hulk, which is coming out, which people are really mad about the special effects. I think the special effects are okay, except for her dead face. But it's just the I've seen all of the trailers and none of the jokes seem to work for me. Like it just seems very
I'm still mad of what the fuck they did with Hulk. I like that will always be Marvel's biggest sin in my eye. Like
not Fat Thor.
No, because I'm not mad at that one because it was a character arc. I'm not mad at Fat Thor because at least Fat Thor fought Thanos for God's sake and actually got some hits in.
Fair enough.
I'm not mad at Fat Thor. Like I did not like the look. I did not like why he got. I don't like why he got fat because it was basically a cosplay for fat dads to make up at Comic Cons. But like I had this image in my head again, director brain. Like imagine after the Hulk made his snap, the gamma radiation fucked him up, blah blah blah. Thanos comes down. They're about to fight, and they're about to call Avengers Assemble. Hulk is not awake yet. Thanos is about to win and kill somebody, but all of a sudden you just hear the biggest Hulk roar. The whole crowd turns and you just see the big angry machine hop out of the ground, goes towards Thanos and beats the ever-living shit out of Thanos for embarrassing him on that ship. That would have sold me right out of my fucking seat. Like imagine if you just like Thanos is about to win, somebody's gonna get killed, and all of a sudden you just hear like in the distance.
That would have been incredible. That's such a good idea. You're right. If he would have came out, and they kind of explain it because it's gamma powered.
Yes,
the gamma radiation would have affected him.
Yes,
it would like a super Hulk. Like that would be crazy.
Like World Breaker Hulk. It would like the story would have been different. But imagine if you just heard that roar come out and just. He destroyed a Chitauri ship. He destroys the big hammer guy of Thanos' team. And then he looks at Thanos, and Thanos has fear in his eyes for the first time versus like seeing Hulk. And then you just see him just go, Hulk, smash, and just beats the living shit out of Thanos. Like,
and then just does the biggest thunderclap. Bam, and then all of the like the flying Chitauri just crashes into not Chitauri but the other the other alien guys, and they just crash in the ground, and then Hulk like grabs one, and I'm telling you that would have been, I think people would have really enjoyed that. But I think what's important was that Captain Marvel does the final fight because women and empowerment and stuff.
Okay, the Captain Marvel thing, I wasn't mad at. She destroyed a ship, whatever. But then all of a sudden, when the women said, "Don't worry, she has backup," and all the women just conveniently come together, and I'm just like, could you shove that down my throat any further? Like,
but
oh my God.
And the thing is, I'm looking at Captain Marvel, and I'm just thinking, Captain Marvel does not need all you women backing her up. She's like so powerful. She's overpowered. Why are you even
She,
what are you even
my
talking
God.
about?
Like, okay, Black Widow's gone. I understand. You want to have all the women come together. I get it. But okay, you have Scarlet Witch, you have Captain Marvel there. None of you are needed. Pepper, get the fuck out. You just started with your suit. You don't need to be there. Just stop. Oh
Let's
my
okay,
lord.
Okoye. Just take your spear and just go to the side.
Okoye,
There's bitches that be flying over here. We don't need this spear chucking.
spear chucking.
She's gonna back up Captain Marvel
and you bring a spear.
You bring a spear to a flying fight, man. Like, what are you talking about?
You bring a spear to a Thanos fight. Oh my lord.
So yeah, that is
dude.
that was funny. Like I laughed in the theater a little bit off of that.
Like I said, like that's the biggest sin to me that they did not bring back. Okay, Marvel, unless you bring back like angry Hulk, I don't care about She-Hulk. I'm only watching it because I want to see Daredevil again. Like, I don't care for watching this right now.
I'm worried about Daredevil. I'm worried about Daredevil, man.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Like, I like that show. I didn't see the third season, but the first two
Really?
seasons are, yeah, people say the third season is the best one. So
It is.
And yeah, I'm gonna I still got Disney Plus, so I'm gonna pop that in at some point. You know what I watch on Disney Plus? Old Iron Man cartoons, like they got the X-Men there and all that. I watch all that old stuff. That stuff is great.
Yeah.
Like the Avi Arad era of Marvel cartoons, the Fantastic Four, Hulk, Silver Surfer, that shit. I think that's probably one of the best times to be a Marvel fan. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, boy, you should have, man, it's a pity you weren't around during when X-Men was out. That was some of the best.
I wasn't around when it first came out, but like I watched it on DVD. Like growing up as a kid, like those were the movies the DVDs I rented at Blockbuster. Like those were the main ones I went to. I knew Spider-Man, the early '90s Spider-Man. I knew about the X-Men, and then I got into X-Men Evolution. I still think X-Men Evolution is better, in my opinion, just like from favoritism, just from favoritism. But I am not going to take the greatness away from what X-Men is. Like that, the older show, like it's fantastic. Like I love that show. But yeah, I gotta rewatch Hulk. Like I remember watching it maybe like once, but I gotta rewatch
the cartoon.
It. The cartoon. Yeah, I gotta watch it again.
It's not bad. It's pretty good. And then they got the newer cartoons. I think it started off with like, well, there was the Spectacular Spider-Man, which I think is probably the best Spider-Man cartoon narratively.
Absolutely.
It's definitely like up there.
Yeah.
I think after that there was Wolverine and the X-Men. That was like late 2000s.
Yeah, late 2000s. Yeah,
those were great. Like those cartoons that they had were great. And then when Marvel was starting up and they were getting ready to do the Avengers, they came out with Avengers, the Mighty,
the Mighty Avengers.
Yeah,
I think
I forgot the name of the card.
I know what you're talking about, but yeah, I remember they came out with it. Was only lasted 2 seasons. Yeah, but it was
that
good.
Was solid. That was
really solid. Good one. I still watch that on Disney Plus. Like that one was so good. I remember there's a Spider-Man show that barely anybody knows. It was on MTV like in the early 2000s. It was called the new animated Spider-Man, the new animated show.
I used to watch that religiously. Me and my friend David, we used to watch that like after, because I was in university at the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, we were on the Spider-Man train when Spider-Man came out. Like that was big. That was huge. Like
yes.
Like I don't know if it'll ever be like that again. The last time it was like that was Avengers. It was Avengers Endgame, where it was just like, what is this? Weird. Oh my god, this is the coolest fucking thing.
Yeah. I like for anybody like search up on YouTube the Spider-Man the new animated series. It is an amazing show. Just watch it. It's great.
It was on
It's great.
MTV. It was Neil Patrick Harris that was on that.
Yes. And this is a Peter Parker based in college. So it's not the same bullshit that you would see in like high school Peter. So just give it a watch. You'll love it.
High School Peter's pretty good.
High school Peter's good, but like this was more mature.
I hear you. I hear you.
This is more mature.
What are your thoughts on what they'll do with Marvel? What Marvel will do with the new X-Men?
If Kevin Feige is having the creative say behind everything, I'm not afraid of it. However, I'm excited for it because X-Men was basically the stepping point for superhero movies. While you look back at them and like some of them are not as great, some of the X-Men still hold a candle to some of the big Marvel movies that are out today.
Yeah, I think some of them are better than Marvel movies.
Absolutely. I think that if you give if you give X-Men the same creative freedom as you did with Endgame, without question, you could make X-Men become like its own thing. Like it will just oh my god. I cannot wait for it.
I'm worried about it. Well, from one, as soon as Victoria Alonso, who's she was previously a Marvel producer. She's been a producer since like the first Iron Man.
Yes.
And now she's sort of the head of development or whatever.
Yeah.
She basically said that the X-Men name is outdated because there's girls in it.
What?
No, because there's women in the X-Men, so you can't call them X-Men.
Okay, hold on a second. Wait. You are saying X-Men is outdated because there's women in it?
Yeah, she said there's a lot of women in there, and
let me
call them X. Yeah,
call them what? X people?
They're gonna call it the mutants. They're gonna call it the mutants.
The mutants.
Yep.
Okay, let me put this in a way that people like her will understand. There's how do you spell women? WOMEN. There is no descriptive way of just saying X-Men. It's just a fucking name. Are you gonna?
I always thought that the men in X-Men were it was more androgynous. It was like Mankind or something of that nature. Where it was,
yes,
and that was sort of the interesting thing about X-Men was that you see the title X-Men and you're like, wait, what the fuck is that? And then when you look at it and you're seeing that half the team are just some of the most badass women you've ever seen, it's a bait and switch, but a good bait and switch. Yes. Not like He-Man or Hawkeye or something like that, where it's like, oh, it's not about the characters.
It's not about that. Like, so you have to understand, Marvel produced some of the most, like he said, the most badass women to ever grace a Marvel comic book. And the problem you have with it is that it's called X-Men. Get the fuck over yourself. Jesus Christ. We are living in a world where women are running everything, and you are upset by a title. It's
outdated, man. It's outdated. You gotta.
Oh my god.
X persons, and I don't think they would want to call it X anything because, I mean, it kind of insinuates that X is Xavier, so he's like owns people.
Oh, for the love of fuck. Are you fucking okay?
I mean, what kind of man would have his initials like all over the a mansion. I mean, that's
Okay.
just
Okay.
that's
Okay.
toxic.
Okay.
That's
Listen.
megalomaniacal.
Shut the fuck up, because you're gonna make people actually believe this shit. Okay. Okay. X-Men, the X in X-Men is the code for X gene. That is what mutants have. That is
Am I
their
going to put
mutation.
L for Link on everything? Am I going to put it on? I'm going to tattoo it on my wife. There, L. That's I'll hold that. That's mine.
I'm gonna put a wolf paw on my girlfriend, like when we get married, just to like, oh my god, Jesus Christ. Okay, for people who do not understand, the X in X-Men means the X gene. They are calling it X-Men because of the X mutation that every mutant has in our body. Charles Xavier, you're gonna make fucking people believe this. I swear to God. Charles Xavier does not own anybody. He is a professor for a reason. It's like, see, now you're just gonna make people believe that he actually owns these fucking people. So now they're gonna. Oh my God.
I mean, it's just messed up, man. Like this bald white man who's got all these young, young people around, and he calls them X-Men, and he has like secret chambers in his basement. Where, the danger room, quote unquote.
Oh my God. Oh my
Imagine you open that and you just see like a Christian Grey paraphernalia all over the walls, like some some whips
God.
and
I
come into the danger room, Storm.
oh.
Come here, Jean Grey.
Oh my,
Scott, you stay out. You're a wet blanket, Scott. Make it so.
Nightcrawler, you stink. Go away.
No, the tail turns him on. It's like
no.
I like that tail there, Nightcrawler. I like it a lot. Cerebro.
Beast, you're so furry.
You see, and this is why you have to change it, because it's so it's
you're right.
Outdated. It's
so
toxic.
outdated.
It's toxic masculinity. It's Harvey Weinstein stuff.
You're right.
You gotta
outdated.
erase all that out. And imagine, you know what, if Victoria Alonso had her way, which she does. I mean, obviously, look how Doctor Strange turned out.
Yeah.
She would have all the like Storm and all those characters. She'd probably have them be the leaders, and then the men would just be like, duh.
Didn't remember in Dark Phoenix when Mystique said, "We do so much around here. They should be called X-Women." I'm like, I was
gonna bring that up. The women keep saving people around here. Might as well call this team the X-Women. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, didn't Xavier like risk his life and limb and legs to save yo ass? And didn't like freaking Quicksilver like save you like for 2 movies now? And hold on a second, didn't you like go with Magneto because you thought he was hot or something, because he just basically said you were because he called you beautiful, and when you were blue he just left Xavier there, and now you're taking the moral high ground? Bitch, fuck you.
Wait, so like if you look at Mystique's character arc, she left Xavier because she wouldn't get dick, and then she went to Magneto because that's just daddy issues.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, it is. Mystique is damaged. Mystique is damaged, man. Ever since the comic books.
Oh my God.
Ever since the comic, she was.
I can't with these fucking movies. Is it bad that I kind of laughed at the way that she died in Dark Phoenix?
No, that movie was ass. So that whole movie was comedy.
The train scene wasn't that bad.
Oh, that was good. I like the train sequence. I like that fight where they had in the street where
Yes.
Cyclops is like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm gonna fuck you up.
Like when I watched the alien concept, I was laughing my ass off because like this is the most shittiest way to get the Phoenix inside of Jean Grey, and the whole concept was just weird. The only thing I liked about it was the train sequence, but whatever. It happened. It's gone. It's dead. Let's move the fuck
Yeah,
on.
it's not the greatest way to end that. And they could have ended it in so many ways. They could have ended it with Logan. They could have ended it with Apocalypse, because I thought, even though that movie was kind of bad too, it ended in a pretty good way. It ended like how the first X-Men started. It's basically them in the danger room, and they got the costumes and everything. And it was like, okay, yeah, just cut it. Just end it like that. But no, they had to come back and ruin everything. And at least the Deadpools were good too. So I'm not mad at the X-Men movies. They could have done a lot more with Storm. I thought they didn't do anything with her. But
I never understand how fucking X-Men movies always undercut Storm. She's a goddess, for God's sake. I don't want
that's
to get
all
into
of
that.
them. They all did. Like none of them. I think Brett Ratner tried to give Storm something. So, but it was just like action stuff. It wasn't really like, she wasn't really a big part of,
Nothing.
yeah. It's kind of sad. And Halle Berry was okay. She was pretty good. It was
I
a
think
bit
she
of
was a good
waste.
actress. I didn't think she was a good Storm. I just didn't like.
Not the greatest Storm. I would have gone with Angela Bassett, but whatever. It is what it is.
Oh,
right?
That's a good one.
Like you seen her in the Wakanda Forever trailer. Like she's like belting out this scene about how my family is dead, and I'm like, whoa.
Oh, that gave me chills when I watched that.
Yeah, but you know what? The most I'm looking forward to in a Black Panther 2 is Ironheart, man.
Really?
No, of course not.
I would, dude. Oh,
I don't
oh
want to
my
see
God.
that.
I wanted, I'm so excited for Namor, honestly.
Namor looks cool. Like I think they changed his background a little bit. I guess they didn't wanted him to be like Aquaman. I mean, there's already an Atlantean underwater guy. I mean, you can't have it. It would just be too close. So I'm okay with it being like an Aztec,
Yes.
inspired. I'm okay with it. I think it
Yeah.
looks good. It's fine. I'm on the team T'Challa recast. I mean, that's,
Me too.
and they're not doing it, so fine. We'll see
I
what
would
they do.
I would love it if they like paid tribute, but like I'm just like recast him. Like I understand what the crew wanted to do and what the story wanted to represent, but at this point I'm like I know I'm going to be emotional through this movie, but in the back of my nerd brain, I want a Black Panther. I want
Yeah,
a T'Challa.
you
I
want
like
T'Challa? Yeah,
yes. First of all, when I say this, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. Tragic way to die. You deserve to live a lot longer than you did. But I was not a fan of Chadwick Boseman being cast as Black Panther. Not because of his acting, I just did not believe his physique, which I know why his physique was the way it was. I understand. I just I wasn't invested in him as Black Panther. I I can't think of an actor right now just because I'm dead tired, but I know I'm not okay. I'm not. I just think that I don't know.
really. You didn't. I I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I'm a bit different on that. I liked Chadwick. I actually did really like. I think he was better in Civil War.
Yes,
I think he was
absolutely.
just great in Civil War. I think Black Panther had a bit of a narrative issue when it came to him, but
I
he was
think they made him
still.
look a little bit weaker.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I'll.
I don't know if this. Have you seen Marvel Knights Black Panther?
No, I didn't see that.
Okay, it's an animated thing on YouTube. You can find it. It's free. It's whatever. When I watched that show, that was who I was thinking of when I thought of Black Panther. It
I I saw Jimon Hansu's cartoon. There's a cartoon on BET that had Jimon Hansu as Black Panther. If Jimon Hansu was younger, that's who I would have gone with. Jimon Hansu, he's the bad guy in Guardians of the Galaxy. I forgot the character's name, but he's also in he was one of the Kree soldiers in
Yes,
yeah,
yes, yes, yes. He would have been amazing.
that would have
Yes,
been perfect for me. That would have been perfect.
absolutely.
But I mean, yeah, I would recast. I would go with the guy from Aquaman, the Black Manta.
Oh, Black Manta?
Yeah,
I'm not mad at that cat. Okay. Okay. I could see that.
yeah.
I'm leaning more towards Jesus, I'm gonna forget his name, but I'll tell you after. But I just would have recasted him. I would have want to see Black Panther versus Namor. Maybe they'll do that in some way, but I don't know. I just really wanted to see him as Black Panther. I really want to see Black Panther, but it is what it is. I'll
And
still love this movie.
who do you think they're gonna? I mean, I assume it's Shuri. I
Me too.
assume because that's very much how the comic books are.
Yes.
The next person in line is Shuri, so that makes sense.
Yes.
Um, I'm okay with it, but Shuri's like a very skinny twig-like person. I would have liked somebody with a little bit more body to her.
Yes.
So I don't know. And then you have Riri Williams in there as Ironheart, and Ironheart is just another derivative sort of character, and I'm just not. I don't know. I'm not feeling that because we've. I mean, I like Rhodey, but Rhodey's not his own. He's just a Iron Man. He's a derivative of. He can't stand on his own, and that's the same thing with this Riri Williams. And you're just throwing her in there.
Yeah.
I don't know who she is. I don't know where she's from. It's I don't know. I'm
I just can't buy it. I don't know what it is, but I just really can't buy it. It's I don't know, man. Like
and is she going to be another super smart, witty, type of person? Because that's what Shuri is, and we
yes.
already got Shuri. We can't have a character that it's exactly like her. It would be like how Iron Man is the quipping guy, but then you have everybody quip.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you have one really super smart um young woman, you're going to have another one and they're just going to be the same character. They like, how does that work?
I'm
I'm
really
not
interested. I'm interested in seeing like how like obviously they're gonna say like T'Challa is dead, but
Yeah.
I want to see what they do. Like, do they kill him off? Did he die from a natural Wakanda disease? Like, I don't know, but like, I want to see. Oh, Trevante Rhodes. That's what I'm thinking of to replace Trevante Rhodes.
Wasn't he in Moonlight? Moonlight. It's
Moonlight.
Moonlight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like him. He's Mike Tyson
Yeah. Yes.
for the
He is.
Hulu show. He's a
Yeah.
yeah, he's good. I like
I
him.
would. I think he would have been an amazing replacement for T'Challa.
I'm not mad at that. I just feel like the Marvel cinematic universe needs like a black masculine figure, and I just don't think Black Captain America fills that. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think so either, but I want to see what they do with the new Captain America in New World Order, because the title intrigues me a lot, and I'm not gonna lie, I was hyped when I saw Falcon become Captain America. I liked it. I was okay with the show, but I want to give this one a chance because I think Anthony Mackie is a phenomenal actor. I believe he can steal a show if he's given the right script.
Yeah, I like. I mean, I like Anthony Mackie. I think it would have been. I would have not liked it if it wasn't Anthony Mackie, but because it's him, he's. I just like him as this character. but at the same time, I just think that being Falcon was like his own identity. And
Right.
now that he's Captain America, he'll always be one of those. He'll just be
Yeah.
under Steve because it's like the Miles Morales problem. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
you're a Spider-Man, but you're not the Spider-Man. You're a Spider-Man with Jordans. That's kind of
Do you think it would be the same scenario if Bucky got the shield instead?
I think so too. I mean, Bucky's Bucky. Bucky's the Winter
Yeah.
Soldier. Like he can't like I don't like the whole legacy thing, like the mantle being
Passed
like
on?
it. Yeah, like I don't like unless you're like a Green Lantern because there's several Green Lanterns.
Yeah.
You're part of a thing, so that makes a little bit more sense. And I even get the Black Panther where if you die as a Black Panther, the next in line takes it. It's
Tradition.
yeah, it's part of its own thing. Or the Phantom. The Phantom is like a very old comic book where
Yeah, I remember.
yeah, if you die, your son has to inherit the
Yes.
Black Panther the Phantom role and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Or like the few times where Batman died and a Robin took over for a while, and then that was he like the Robins were Batman for a while until Batman came back to life or some shit like that.
Yeah, so, something like that. You're just holding a place. You're not the guy, you know?
Yeah.
That's why I don't like for example in Thor, why is Jane Foster a Thor? Why is there a Thor? When Captain America had the hammer, he didn't become a Thor. He was still Captain America. He just has the power of Thor.
That's
When
what
you're
bothered me so much.
doesn't really make sense. It's more branding, isn't it?
It's okay. Unless unless Marvel just fumbled on the storyline and the continuity, there is no reason why Jane, unless she asked for that armor, there's no reason why she should have had it. She could have been trained with it because I think there was like a week gap from when she got the hammer to now to when she started fighting. But I don't I don't know. Like I okay, I don't mind her being Thor for that movie. She did great. How she got the powers is what bothered the fuck out of me.
Yeah, they kind of
Like,
just they kind of just jumped over that whole thing. They just cut away and they didn't explain it. They
yeah,
explained it a little bit, and I'm like, okay, yeah, all right, fine, well, I'll go with it. But yeah, I just don't.
don't buy it.
When you're yeah, I just don't buy that she is a Thor.
Yeah,
Thor
no.
is somebody's name. You
Yes.
can't be a Thor. You could only
I,
be Jane Foster,
I
who has
understand.
the power.
I understand in the comics when Thor died, that's when Jane Foster took the mantle over, and she was sick to death, and she got the blessing from Odin to become Lady Thor. In this one, in the Love and Thunder, it was different. I just I don't know. I'm just I think it was a waste of potential. Like Jane Foster as Thor is a powerhouse in the comics. Like don't mistake me, she was fantastic. But from what they did with her in Love and Thunder, it's just another fucking problem that Marvel's having right now. I think it's a bump in the road at this point, or maybe that's the new normal. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Well. Oh, are you looking forward to Echo,
No,
the new Marvel show? Echo. Do you know
no.
who Echo is?
Yeah, I know. It's the freaking woman from Hawkeye.
I
Yeah,
never read those comics, so I don't
me
know who
neither.
that person is. Like, who is that?
I know who she is. Like I never read the comics, but I did research on who she is. Like she okay, it's a cool character, it's fine. But I don't know why she needs her own show. I this is a it's another diversity token show, and like I'm not going for it. I'm sorry. I just like I don't have an investment for it.
What about the new? Well, yeah, I don't. I'm not gonna watch it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a video on all the shows, and I think I'm done after She Hulk. Like, I can't do an entire ranking of all of them anymore because they're just some of them I'm not gonna watch. I just
I can't do it. After Moon Knight, I checked out. I was done.
What a colossal waste of a cool concept. Like such a cool character, such a good actor. Like I love Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight. I think he carries the show. I think he carries even the new Star Wars movies. I mean,
Yep.
people say it's Kylo Ren, but
Nope.
no, it's Poe.
Yep.
Poe's the guy. Oscar Isaac is, the crap that he had to deal with in those movies and still come out like proper is it's a testament to how good of an actor he is. And
phenomenal.
In Moon Knight, he kills it. Like this man kills it. And
Yes,
like episode 5 of Moon Knight is just so good. And then it just ends in such a dumb kind of way. And I'm just like, why did I even invest my time in this?
They had it good for the first 3 episodes, and then it got to like the mystical shit, and I just mentally checked out. I'm like, okay, the the villain I did not care for. The trip to Egypt dragged out like all living hell. And the sky beam at the end for a final battle. I wanted to go buy rope from Home Depot at one point. And yeah.
What about that giant god fight in the end? Like a couple of Godzillas in the middle of Egypt. Like, where did that even come from? They didn't set that up. What do you?
So
what is that?
So when I watched that, I looked at my TV screen and prayed to God that that was not what I was seeing, because this is fucking Moon Knight. He is the most badass vigilante in the Marvel universe, and you're making him do a Power Rangers Godzilla fight. You dumb mother! Oh my god! Oh my god! All right, yep, that's canon now. So from me just knowing Moon Knight, I wanted to see the street level detective stalker, the homebody Moon Knight. I wanted to see that. I got a whole Egyptian biology story, and I checked out that class. So Moon Knight, if you do a second season, which I'm pretty sure you will, stick to the fucking streets. Be a hooker and stick to the streets. I don't want to see. I don't want to see Egypt ever again. Just bring up Egypt when you need it to be. Bring Khonshu back, because Khonshu and freaking the British side of Scott was so fucking funny. I loved it. I need those two characters back.
It's pretty good. What about Layla? What about that great character?
Okay, so for how she was introduced made sense. How she was portrayed after her introduction, I don't want to say this without sounding sexist, but we didn't need her. We did not need her to be another fucking superhero just so somebody could put a cameo and say, "Are you an Egyptian superhero?" "Yes, I am."
Oh, I hated that. Why did they put that in there?
Like, because Marvel has no self-restraint anymore.
Why did they have to do that? They could have oh god, man.
I like you're putting a hat on a hat. Like, come on. Are we like, oh my lord.
They stopped the scene. They stopped the action scene dead at a dead stop.
Yep.
Just so that they can have that moment. That's just so they can have a little girl looking up to, maybe I can be like that someday. They did that in Justice League.
Yep.
Which was hilarious. It was like a scene out of The Boys where Wonder Woman completely obliterates this guy, right? Like,
yep,
completely kills him in front of all these children. The children are supposed to be like traumatized because they just got shot at.
Yeah.
They just saw Wonder Woman beat these guys to a bloody pulp, and you see the blood.
Yeah.
And then you see a man get disintegrated, and then this girl's gonna be like, "Can I do that like you?" Like, how are you not
How are
You
you
need
not
therapy
crying?
after this. You
How are
need
you not?
therapy after this.
I know you're not mad at this scene in Moon Knight. Do you remember when he was about to face the main villain, and then it cuts, and he goes, and then he's dead.
I had a I have an entire video. I had a conversation with one of my friends on the podcast about that very scene. I hate that scene. I hate it. It's the finale. We want to see Moon Knight, and up until this point, we only had like what 5 minutes of actual Moon Knight action.
Yep.
So this is where you gotta go all in on the Moon Knight, right? No, you cut away at the best possible part where he takes out the villain, and you're just gonna cut away. Get the fuck out of here. What am I
I
watching here? What are you doing?
I
Why are
I
like
lost my shit. I looked at my screen and I went, "Are you fucking kidding me? What was that? Why?" I
and
oh
but you know
God.
the thing is all of these things like Miss Marvel, Moon Knight, Shang-Chi, I don't think people don't like these movies because it's different representation. It's not that. It's just that they're not well written.
Yep.
Eternals wasn't a really well written movie.
No, I think it would if it was
Wasn't.
I think if it was I really believe that if Eternals did not have the Marvel stamp on it, I think it would have been a decent movie. I am comparing it by Marvel standards. I do not think that
Fair.
I do not think that Eternals was a great movie. I do not think it was a bad movie. I think that if it was more fleshed out and more developed, it could have been a lot better. For people who shit on Eternals because it was too many characters, makes sense. But the action scenes, are you kidding me? That those were phenomenal. Like the CGI, the action, so much better than Doctor Strange. What the fuck are you saying?
Oh, I agree with you there, sir. I agree with you completely. I think that's where all the money went, to be honest. Like it went to that, it went to Black Panther because that trailer is awesome.
Yeah.
But they definitely skipped Thor. They didn't give a shit about Thor.
No.
They really didn't. Like some of the effects in there were looked like they were created by children and were because I think the children designed some of the effects in that. But
the, the
anyways, but anyways, the you could just tell there was a it was better crafted action scenes, the special effects, the superpowers, all of that much better done than any of the it was even I think in certain cases it was better than No Way Home visually on a visual
yeah,
standpoint.
you know what? You know what? I didn't think about that before, but I really agree with you. I agree. I think cinematically, oh my God, I didn't think about that. Yes, it was. Holy shit, it was.
Yeah, I mean, No Way Home was good. It's definitely the best of Phase Four, but
Yes.
in terms of Spider-Man effects, I would even say that Amazing Spider-Man 2 had some better special effects.
Oh, you're gonna piss somebody off by that comment.
I don't
but
give a
I
shit.
but I
Come at
agree
me,
with
bro.
I agree with you. I liked Spider-Man No Way Home. I you know what? Yeah, I think Eternals had better cinematography. I think it had better. I just think that a lot of things look better. I think the best action scene of that whole movie was Spider-Man getting thrown through floors by Green Goblin. That was one of
Oh,
the.
that was because it was like shot for real. I mean, you can't beat real stuff, and that's what I liked about that fight because it was a hallway. It was another hallway fight scene, but I mean, it's done for real.
It's brutal.
There's not a lot of CGI in that, but all of these fight scenes, like that's what I didn't like about Shang-Chi. I like the kung fu,
Yeah.
phenomenal. It has some of the best fight scenes in Marvel history. I'm
Yep.
saying. But when he's fighting that dragon demon thing at the end, and there's a dragon flying, and he's like, I'm out. Like, I came for him dealing with his father issues with kung fu.
Yeah.
And that they should have kept it ground level. They should have. They should have spent like 90 million on that. What did they spend? Like 200 million on a
200
Shang-Chi
million.
movie?
200
Yeah, like
million.
no, man. Like that. If they would have just shot it for real,
Yeah.
much better film, and it would have made more
Yes.
money, and it wouldn't have been like kind of fake, because a lot of that stuff is fake. I think they did a disservice to that movie for killing off one of the henchmen. There's the henchman with the mask that
Yeah.
was fucking badass, and they had a fight scene in the building
In
in
Hong
China
Kong.
earlier in the movie with the scaffolding and stuff.
Yep.
Phenomenal. And then they killed him. He dies like a bitch at the end,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like a joke. It was just, and I'm like, come on, Marvel, like you guys are better than this. You guys know what we want. Just give us the thing. You
Give us
already
kung
have
fu.
us.
Just give
Yeah.
us kung fu. Just stop with the Jesus Christ. When they were driving through that forest in that Toyota or Kia, whatever that was, I'm like, could you put more advertisement like blatantly on a movie?
Yeah. Yeah.
Holy fuck. Like okay, I remember, like, you know how my girlfriend is, like, when she saw, like, I'm gonna go back to Thor for a quick second.
Right.
When she saw the kid scene where they got all the powers, she was in love with it. I was mad at it, and she was like, "No, the kids, like, they're being Thor." I looked at her and I like you know how she
It's
would react.
adorable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I look at her and I went, "Yeah, they should be fucking dead. Like, this is Gore the God Butcher. Like, are you really gonna talk to me? No, but look at them. She's being Thor with a teddy bear." I let go of her hand right after that statement. I'm like, this is atrocity. This is disgusting. This should not be happening on screen. So, but yeah, I get what you mean. Like, Marvel, like, go back to the roots where you made Iron Man 1, you stopped doing the QT shit, you made something brutal, you made something realistic. Start doing that shit. Because I'm tired of seeing a CGI mess that looks like something I could make in a toy store. Just
Right.
stop. Just uh
Now, I do understand that Marvel has other demographics. Not all of them, not all of the Marvel fans are 30-year-old, old curmudgeon fuckers like me. But I would say if you're going to do that, maybe have characters that handles that. Like a Miss Marvel is perfect for like cutesy, jokey stuff. And if you're gonna do Ironheart, like we're gonna get it regardless.
Yep.
Just make that character work. Go
Yeah.
to the grassroots. Figure out what made Iron Man work, what made Captain America work, Black Widow, all of these other characters. They had a following, not just because people saw them in a comic book. And Ironheart doesn't have that, reverence for her. So you really have to dig deep and try to make that character work, and not do some, because I just saw Naomi. I just saw the first episode of Naomi and I hated that shit. Ava DuVernay, she needs to go back to writing and film school, and like she needs to look at what she did and see why that didn't work. Because it just like nobody cares about, not like who get. Look at Spider-Man. People like Spider-Man. Why do people like Spider-Man? What do you think people like?
He's relatable. He's relatable.
Right?
And I well, for me, like, he's young, he goes through real life, like, grounded situations. He's not
Right.
rich, he's not the he's a genius, but he's not the most bright person socially. People relate to that, and he's also just like, he's fun. He's a fun, lovable character. That's the way I relate to him anyway.
And he's flawed. There is
Yes,
a
and he's flawed.
fundamental, yeah, there is a fundamental flaw. What was the driving force of Spider-Man in the Sam Raimi movie? He wanted money to buy a car to impress a girl, and
Yes,
somehow that led to the death of his uncle.
yes,
So the fallout of that, and from that situation, how he reacted to that, and how he, chose to improve himself from that situation, is why we love that character. We love flawed characters, or people improving themselves and overcoming their flaws. So if you
yes.
have a character like Shuri, who is just super smart, super bright, does everything right, like, I like Shuri, but she's kind of boring. What am I supposed to
I
do
agree.
with that? So these characters need something. They need like something to ground them. They need gravitas.
Yeah,
That's why we like Iron Man. That's why we like Captain America. That's why we like T'Challa. That's why people don't like Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel doesn't have much flaws, or even if she does have flaws, she's not self-aware to deal with them. So what do we have?
we're left with. You know what? I really think that there's a huge problem with like the way Ironheart's being introduced. Maybe they'll do it more naturally. Like I don't know what they're gonna do with her in that movie. I don't care, but I want to give Ironheart the actual like chance that I gave Eternals. I
Right.
heard a lot of bad shit. I watched Eternals and I was surprised of how much I actually enjoyed it. I really think because of Marvel standards, people are going to shit on it no matter what. I think maybe they're going to do right by Ironheart, but people are still going to have their biased opinion and shit on it. But again, it all depends on what they do with her. I don't know. Just
All right. So, well, we're gonna have to end it there.
okay.
We're over our time, but
All
I
right.
think we covered some real bases. I think we should leave it on characters matter regardless of anything. Once you write good characters, people will come.
Yes.
So, all right. Well, I enjoyed this. We should
Me
definitely
too.
do this again.
Yes.
Let me know when you're available, and where can the people reach you at?
You can reach me on Instagram at official lone wolf underscore. That is like my main social media I use. And yeah, that's my main thing you can reach me at.
All right, cool. Take care. Thanks for coming out.
All right, no problem, bro.
All right. This is Link, and we are out.